Imagine sitting at a dinner table hundreds of years ago. A large feast is placed in front of you. Roasted meat, fresh bread, heavy wooden cups. Everyone around the table is eating with their bare hands. Then suddenly, someone pulls out a strange metal object. A handle with sharp pointed teeth at the end. The entire room goes silent. People stare, not with curiosity, but fear, because at one point in history, people genuinely believed the fork was evil, not unnecessary. Evil. Some religious leaders even claimed it was an insult to God. Others believed it represented pride, luxury, even rebellion. And the strangest part? The object they feared is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Today, forks are so normal that nobody questions them. But for centuries, this tiny piece of metal caused outrage across Europe. People argued over it, mocked it, rejected it. Some even believed using a fork could send someone to hell. So how did one of the most ordinary objects in human history become one of the most controversial? To understand that, we need to travel back to medieval Europe, where eating with your hands was not just normal, it was respected. Long before forks appeared on dining tables, people relied on something much simpler: their hands. And surprisingly, this wasn't considered dirty. In medieval Europe, eating with your fingers was completely normal. Bread acted like a plate. Knives cut the meat. Hands did the rest. Meals were physical, messy, communal. People sat close together, sharing food from large dishes placed in the center of the table. But back then, table manners meant something different. The ability to eat gracefully with your hands was seen as a skill. Wealthy nobles practiced elegant hand movements during meals. Using fingers properly showed class. And because of that, many people saw no reason for forks to exist. In fact, early forks looked strange and unnatural. Thin metal prongs touching food before it reached the mouth. Too many Europeans. That felt unnecessary, even suspicious. But forks already existed elsewhere. In parts of the Byzantine Empire and the Middle East, small forks had quietly been used among wealthy families for centuries. Not as everyday tools, but symbols of refinement. And eventually, one noblewoman would bring that strange custom into Europe, changing dining history forever. In the 11th century, a Byzantine princess traveled to Venice for marriage. She arrived with expensive clothing, jewels, perfumes, and something Europeans had rarely seen before: a golden fork. At royal dinners, she used the tiny fork instead of touching food with her hands. People were stunned. Some were fascinated. Others were disgusted. Religious leaders especially hated it. To them, humans were created by God with natural fingers. Using artificial metal tools to eat seemed arrogant, almost sinful. One church figure even claimed the princess was too delicate to touch food like normal humans. And when she later became sick and died, some priests called it divine punishment. That story spread quickly. Suddenly the fork wasn't just unusual, it became controversial. And for years afterward, many Europeans viewed forks as symbols of vanity and moral corruption. The wealthy elite sometimes used them secretly, but ordinary people avoided them. Not because forks didn't work, but because society rejected what they represented: luxury, foreign influence, change. Even while many people criticized forks, the rich slowly became interested in them. Because throughout history, humans have always been attracted to exclusivity. And forks were rare, expensive metals, detailed craftsmanship, elegant design. Owning one meant power. Royal courts in Italy began adopting forks during formal dining events. Slowly, noble families copied each other, not because they needed forks, but because they wanted status. Forks became fashionable. The more decorative the fork, the wealthier the owner appeared. Some forks were made with silver handles. Others were covered in jewels. And just like that, the object once called sinful became luxurious. but ordinary citizens still resisted. For many people, forks felt unnecessary and overly fancy. Some mocked users for acting too royal. Others believed forks disconnected humans from food itself. Still, change had already begun, and there was no going back. By the 1600s, forks slowly spread through Europe. Italy embraced them first. France followed later. England resisted longer than most. Some travelers returning from Italy described forks as ridiculous little tools. Others became fascinated by their cleanliness and convenience, and cleanliness would eventually become the fork's greatest advantage. As cities grew larger, people became more aware of hygiene. Eating with hands no longer seemed as refined as before. Forks suddenly looked modern, civilized, elegant. By the 18th century, wealthy homes across Europe commonly used matching cutlery sets. Dining itself became more formal. Specific utensils appeared for specific foods, and the fork transformed from a controversial object into a social expectation. But the fork changed more than dining. It changed human behavior. Meals became slower, cleaner, more controlled. The fork created distance between hands and food. And strangely, that small distance influenced culture. Table manners became stricter. People judged each other based on eating habits. The dinner table evolved into a place of social performance. Even today, many people unconsciously associate fork usage with sophistication, which is ironic, because centuries ago, that same behavior was mocked as unnatural. History often works this way. The things society fears first sometimes become normal later. Restaurants, homes, airplanes, schools. Most people never think about them, but hidden behind this ordinary object is a story filled with fear, religion, status, and social change. The fork wasn't accepted because it was useful. It survived because humans slowly changed their beliefs. And maybe that's the most fascinating part of history. Sometimes the smallest objects reveal the biggest truths about people. So, the next time you sit down for dinner, look at the fork beside your plate. Because hundreds of years ago, someone might have called it evil. Amake AI, videor protita sectioner, ekta tigata, kore realistic. 8000 sectioner line moment. Time budge AI image generator prompt. Da ya emi videot. Use korba.